Hello guys, Hidden Adventures in Airtime here, and it's currently midnight and I've been sat off eating my Japanese milk candy and I thought I'd make a video about something that I kind of care about in the theme park community, and that is Duelling Dragons.
Oh. And experience the thrill. Ride the movie. Live the adventure. There's no other place on Earth that takes you into the movies like Universal. If it happens on the big screen, it comes to life at Universal. Universal Entertainment. Universal excitement.
Probably heard a lot about Duelling Dragons recently because there's been a lot of videos on YouTube about it, lots of stuff in the theme park, like Facebook pages and news websites, things like that. But yeah, Duelling Dragons, also known as Dragon Challenge at Islands of Adventure, has closed as of today, or it might be yesterday when you're watching. Depends when you're watching it really, doesn't it? It closed on September the 4th, and I thought I'd just make a quick video just to tell you a little bit about the ride, a bit of its history, and why I'm sad that it's closing.
The Lost Continent. Choose your fate, fire or ice, as you challenge Duelling Dragons, the world's first inverted dueling roller coasters. It's two completely different rides. After defeating the dragons, witness death-defying feats and pulse-pounding action.
Now, Duelling Dragons opened in May 1999. That's the same year that the Islands of Adventure theme park opened for the first time. It was a pair of B&M inverted coasters intertwined together. They share, like the lift hill structure is shared, but it's actually two complete separate tracks, just put together basically. And what they did was they timed various inversions together so that when you were looking at it from outside the ride, it looked quite spectacular, and when you're on the ride, you could see other trains, the other train on the other track, sort of near miss you. Now, the premise of the ride was you were picked a dragon at the beginning. You chose fire or ice. Each side was quite similar. They both had 5 inversions. They both did around 60 miles an hour. They just had a different layout of inversions. They were both completely different rides. One of the popular things that people say is that fire was good and ice was rubbish. I thought they were both sort of average B&M inverts. Neither of them were particularly good, I thought, but they were decent. And the best thing about them was that they were so unique, which is why I like them so much. What the ride would do is, as the trains left the station, they'd go into like a long straight bit of track, which I think was also the transfer table, and that would weigh the trains to make sure that they could sort of time each train separately. So what would happen is you'd be going up the lift, and one of the trains would go faster, and one would start to overtake the other up the hill, or I think it actually slowed down one of them, whichever one was going to go fastest around the track. And then so they both go down the drops at slightly different times, but that meant that when they went round the track, they would line up and duel together. The cool thing about it was the entrance at the time had 2 loops that both went like that, so as it's an inverted coaster, each train, like underneath of the train, came up towards each other. So when you were on the ride, if you looked down, you could see other people beneath you. It was really cool. But according to Universal, the rides came within 18 inches of each other, so that's pretty impressive. One of the big things about Duelling Dragons was it had a very intricately themed queue line that was themed to like castle ruins, I believe. One of the big things that people complained about was it was a very long queue. It took a long time to walk through it. I think they really overestimated the queue length because it's 2 roller coasters together. It eats the queues very well, and because of that, the queue line was way too long. So you ended up walking just around a really long queue, and then when you get to the front, you could just walk straight on the ride. So it was a bit silly, really. So the ride existed as Duelling Dragons for 11 years until 2010, when the new Harry Potter area was being built, and they renamed it to Dragon Challenge. They also they got rid of a lot of the queue line, but it still had quite a long queue line. and they themed it to Harry Potter, and the try was a tournament. They ran in the Dragons Hungarian Horntail and Chinese Fireball. Sadly, after all that time, in 2011, there was a few incidents where people had been hit by debris from the other train. In one incident, a person lost his eye due to something falling off the ride and hitting the other person. And because of this, Universal decided to get rid of the main feature of the ride, which was the dueling aspect. So from that point, I think it was October 2011, they stopped the dueling aspect. So the first time I visited after that was in 2014, and I was pretty disappointed really, because the experience was just kind of ruined really. The trains didn't go anywhere near each other. They set off one train and then the other train didn't set off till ages later, so the trains didn't even go, like you'd think maybe they could just stagger them slightly so that one would just go a bit ahead of the other one, but they wanted to get rid of any risk of it happening again, which I suppose is fair enough. But it killed the best part of the ride really, which was the dueling. So because of this, the ride wasn't one of the best rides in the park. A lot of people didn't really like it because the rides, they were okay, but because they had to line up and duel, the layout was a bit weird. Like there's one section of track that's just really long and straight on one of the sides of the ride, because it's obviously quite difficult to get two different roller coasters to line up with each other perfectly. So in July 2017, it was announced that the ride would close in September 2017, which was yesterday when this video has been made, on September the 4th, and now the ride is going to be removed, and it's been announced that it's going to be replaced by another Harry Potter ride. Make way for a new attraction based on the Harry Potter franchise that is scheduled to open in 2019. So yeah, there you go. It's a sad story, I think, because the ride was good. It had a good capacity. It could eat the queues very well. It took a lot of people. You never really had to queue very long for it, which I think is always a good thing. The problem with it is it takes up a lot of room. If you look on a map, it takes up a huge portion of that theme park because it's just so big and expansive. So they're gonna have a lot of room to play with a new Harry Potter ride. Nobody knows what it's gonna be yet. It's in the Hogsmeade area of the park, so I don't know. I'm hoping, and other people have posted about it, hopefully it's going to be one of those Vekoma rides. Vekoma are like building a new type of flying roller coaster, where it's like you board the ride, sat down like a seat, and then when you go, instead of on like most B&M flyers where like you sit in a seat and then it just goes like that and then goes, on this one it's sort of designed to the track, so you sit up and you sit up all the way up the lift hill, so you're sort of going up sideways, like, I don't know how to show it, but you're sort of going up sideways. I'll put a bit of video in here, until you get to the top of the lift hill, and then as you get to the top of the lift hill, your seats turn and the track turns at the same time, so you switch from being sat upright to facing down flying. So I'm hoping that they could maybe make that into some kind of Harry Potter thing. I'm hoping they do, because at the moment Universal just seem to build a lot of simulator kind of rides, and I'm kind of tired of them. Last time I went, there wasn't too many, but now like they've got like Jimmy Fallon, they've got the Spider-Man one, they've got the Transformers one, they've got the Harry Potter one. The Gringotts ride is kind of similar to that. And now if they build another Harry Potter one that's another simulator kind of thing, I don't know. They've got a lot of room to build something good there, so I'm hoping they do. But yeah, rest in peace, Duelling Dragons, or Dragon Challenge, if you want to call it that. Such an awesome ride, and it's sad that I find it unlikely that it's going to get relocated anywhere, because it's such a big and expensive ride. And Universal don't have a good record of recycling things. When they took down the Hulk roller coaster, they scrapped everything. So yeah, I don't think they're going to relocate them. If they did, that would be awesome. I don't know what park would buy it. Maybe a park in China or something, because they like a good deal on like rides other people have had. I think that might be a good move, but I don't think Universal will sell it. Yeah, so that's sad. But yeah, I've been on it quite a few times. I really enjoyed it, and it'll be sad that it's gone. It's one of the unique roller coasters that B&M has built. they're quite often slated for building quite predictable rides and boring rides. Rides that don't really break any boundaries. But Dueling Dragons really was, back in 1999, was maybe their only dueling roller coaster, I don't know. But it was impressive. It's pretty cool that they had Dueling Dragons and the Hulk roller coaster, which are both unique B&M rides. Obviously Hulk is a looper, but it's also B&M's only launched coaster at the time. I think they've got another one now. I hope you don't find it too boring. Like I say, I was just sat up. I'm supposed to be going to sleep because I'm going to Thorpe Park tomorrow. I think I need to set up to Thorpe Park in 4 hours is when we set off to Thorpe Park, and I've not gone to bed yet. But I was just sat up eating some of my awesome Japanese candy, and felt like making a video about something that I cared about, so sorry. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like. If you want to see more of my stuff, we're going to be making so much more videos. If you could subscribe please, and if you click the little bell icon that's next to the subscribe button, you'll be able to get all the updates on our latest videos. And yeah, suggest anything you want in the comments. I'm open to suggestions. If you've got any ideas for videos, let me know and I'll do it. Yeah, so cool. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.